Alrighty folks, hello there and welcome to the part 2 video of our Teamer top 10 Mythic draft. We finished the draft off at rank 3, but it seems like time has passed and I'm back to 5, so this video is going to be pretty short since this is just a part 2 continuation of the first draft video. So if you want to see the part 1 video, just of course find the part 1 video, and then it should go through the drafts and then show you how this deck operates. But anyways, yeah, we dropped down a couple of rankings back down to 5, but we ended at 3, so now let's try to get back up. But this is a pretty decent deck overall. I don't think it's broken by any means. We're splashing a Lightning Bolt and Elemental Masterpiece. The only broken thing about this deck, really, I think, is the triple Quandrix Cultivator. But outside of that, it's not like there's a ton of interaction in this type of deck. And there's also we're playing pop quizzes as filler ways to learn and not necessarily field trips. So honestly, I think this deck is alright. I think it's definitely good, but it's not like broken by any means. So I'm hoping we can at least up our ranking, maybe back up to 3. I highly doubt 2 games will put us into number 2, but it's definitely possible to get back up to 3 if I win the next couple of games. If not, then I guess I'll just drop back to 5, back down to 10 or something, and work my way up again. But other than that, yeah, pretty solid draft. But after a couple of hours, with not playing, I'm back up to 5, back down to 5. I mean. Which, you know, I'm still quite happy, because that was my goal at the beginning of this season, get to top 10 Mythic, and I did. Didn't expect myself to be top 5, but we did it, so. And I think top 3 Mythic is the highest I've ever been, so that's a nice step. It's crazy how we're facing gold opponents at this ranking. It doesn't really make any sense. I'm rank 5 Mythic versus gold. I don't understand anymore. We'll keep this. Colony, Pop Quiz, Cultivator seems fine. Okay, and we got our red source anyways. So yeah. It's a little bit odd why I'm facing a gold opponent. It's really unfair, unless he has a pretty good draft going on, and you know, we see turn to Zimone, so definitely seems like he has a good deck, but we'll see. Could end turn pop quiz. I think I'm fine playing out the island in case I get another island for an eventual for the eventual whatchamacallit, I forgot what the card is called. Tempted by the Auric. Now the question is, do I want a pop quiz or do I want an emergent sequence? By emergent sequencing, I will have up to 4 mana next turn, but that's not really going to do much other than allow me to play out a cultivator with an extra land. So I think we want to just pop quiz on the turn, maybe. I know it is kind of close, actually. But I mean, the turn I play out Cultivator, following turn I'm just going to have a Clockwork Archivist anyways. By playing the Emergent Sequence, we're just going to play out the Cultivator anyway, so I don't really see a reason just playing the Emergent Sequence here. We'll just attack for 2, end of turn we'll just pop quiz. It's kind of sad that I have to play these pop quiz over something great like Field Trip. So, hopefully the opponent doesn't outvalue me and I can kill him quick enough, but that's very difficult, especially with a turn 2 Simone, allowing him to ramp and play out some big things. Variant books, okay, I think we're just gonna grab Elemental Summoning Rights. I can grab the Expanded Anatomy. The Summoning gives me an extra body. The Expanded Anatomy is quite good with enhancing the Quadrix Cultivator or any other threats. I think I'm liking the Elemental Summoning here. And I think we want to keep it calling back to block the 3-1 or at least trade for it. And then if he has an Arcane Subtraction, we still have a Cogwork Archivist to help us block. So I think we're just gonna play out the Cultivator, get our island here, and then we're gonna keep the Scourge Colony back to potentially trade off, or I could just attack. I mean, it's gonna still take a while to get to 8, so I think I'm gonna stay back here. I don't really want to take 3 in the air. I can swing back with the Quandrix Cultivator. Here he can just end up playing some sort of Leyline Invocation. If he does attack for the 3-1, it's a sign he could have Arcane Subtraction. And maybe I just take it and then play out the Cogwork Archivist instead. That could be reasonable. Yeah, if he attacks, I think I'll take it because I don't want to run into Arcane Subtraction, and the Cogwork Archivist is just a better blocker. So now I think we're fine just playing land and attacking for 3, and if he has a trick, we can bury him books. Although, I can't really target the Waterfall Aerialist because it has Ward, but I still think we're going to attack for 3 here. Just seems too good. And he just takes it, and hopefully no reject on my Archivist. Yeah, I definitely think I need to play around reject because this isn't really mana efficient, so hopefully this resolves. And I've been seeing people main deck reject, and it's actually hasn't been too difficult. Yep, there it is. And it actually has been sometimes fairly efficient. Here I'm fine taking 3 because I can get to 8 lands next turn with Emergent Sequence and the Elemental Summoning, so I think it's actually fine taking 3 if he decides to attack with the Waterfall Aerialist. It's kind of crazy how he just drew a bunch of cards off his Simone. And now, let's see. So we can't really attack with a 3-3. I could attack with a 2-2 if he blocks with his 5-4. I can Emergent Sequence and then cast Elemental Summoning. No, actually this is an instant speed, so never mind. So I think what we want to do is we want to cast the Emergent Sequence here. Grab another island. This becomes a 4-4. I could attack. I could also Burying Books to 5-4 and attack with both. I mean, that's also not unreasonable. And then just have him play it all again. I think I like that. He could double block the Scourge Colony, but then let's see here. I could also keep this up. You know, I don't actually mind him double blocking the Scourge Colony. He does lose 2 creatures here, so I think I like bouncing the Biograph main phase and attacking with both. 7 is just a lot of damage. And if he tries to double block any of these, he loses both his creatures, which isn't really ideal, so getting him for 7 here is nice. He can play back his 5-4, but then we'll just play an Elemental Summoning. And we should have enough mana to also keep up a Burying Books. So this was a nice play. So I think I want to be aggressive here still. Vortex Runner, okay. Opponent attacks in the air for 3. Okay, he's just gonna keep everything back. Attacks for 1 with Simone. Okay, land is not what we want. Let's think this through. I could attack with both, but he just blocks the 3-4. I can attack with the 4-4. He's gonna stub a double block. I can blow him out with another Burying Books. But maybe it's better to play the Elemental Summoning first, and then before I Burying Books, since I want to be mana efficient. So let's just play this out, and I think we actually pass here. And then we can attack with both next turn and then blow him out with a Bearing Books if he goes for a double block. Elemental Masterpiece is also pretty good. I mean, I can attack with both of these. He's definitely going to double block one of them. I think we actually play the Elemental Masterpiece and then keep up Bearing Books next turn. And then we can go for an all-out attack if we want to. But for now, I don't really want to attack with the 4/4, the 2/4/4s, since it doesn't seem like a good attack. We just want to set this up so then we can try to go all out with the 4/4s. Okay, that's not good for me. He's just going wide. So I need some sort of evasive game plan to try to win. His Vortex Runner can eventually start chipping in. So I think we want to attack with the 4/4s here. I guess I can keep back the Scourge Colony because he's more inclined to just block this and I don't want to keep taking hits in the air. I could also still attack with a Colony and you know what, let's just attack with the Cultivator as well. I do have Bearing Books to keep up to blow him out, so I think this is fine. I'm liking this block here. Also don't mind these two blocks. So I think I want to save my Colony and take out the 3/4. I know this can grant evasion, but like who cares? I'm winning the race anyways. So I think this attack is fine. We have the Vortex Runner and the Quandar's Cultivator. And then we'll have a 4/4 and a 3/4 back still, so yeah, this seems good. And this seems good. And then this seems good, and then before damage, we want to use Bearing Books on the token, I think. And then we get to keep some of our key threats still. This is kind of bad if he has like a follow-up like Fractal Summoning or something, or Leyline Invocation. But I still think it's correct to start attacking here. Otherwise, we're never going to win the game. Since he has the mode, he can just draw a million cards eventually, so we just want to get some good attacks in, and there it is, Leyline Invocation. Not a good sign, so I do need to keep the Neothorn Drake back to block this. He could have a fight spell as well here, which could be kind of bad. Okay, Campus Guide, not really what I want, but I'll play it and not search. I could also start chipping in the Neothorn Drake. 1 damage is not a lot though, but it is still 1 damage. If he attacks with the 7/7, I have to go for a double block, but he can just blow me out with some sort of combat trick, so I think we actually stay back here. And there's a chance my gold opponent can end up winning here if he just keeps activating Simone and outvaluing me. But still, I think the attacks were correct. Otherwise, I'm never gonna win. Opponent's trying to get the 8th land in order to activate Simone. I see that. We have a campus at least. And then I guess we'll pass, and then hopefully we get some goodies later. And I also don't think I want to scry with the land next turn, since I can't really cast Leyline Invocation and scry, can I? This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I definitely need the ground blocker. So let's see, if I scry, how much mana is this? Yeah, I won't have enough to cast my own Leyline Invocation, so I think we just take our draw step. And sadly draw a land, so we'll just say go. Opponent's just going to gain a ton of value off of Simone, and we could just lose. Losing to a gold opponent at this rank feels kind of bad. He's also main decking pop quizzes to learn. Sadly, I mean, it's interesting enough. Our decks aren't too different. We're also playing Golden Ratio. We're playing 2 pop quizzes, a cultivator as well. Maybe not double Biomathematician, but we also have a Pet Summoning in the sideboard. So how do we win this? I think we need a card draw spell. Ooh, Pugilist. That's scary. And then we can just get blown out by a combat trick here. So yeah, Zamone is going to just win the game. I'm going to put the Colony in front. I don't know what this implies. Maybe a pump spell, but I think we're just going to go for this block. He probably knows about this already, but I mean, I'm fine taking this block. I mean, it's a free kill at least. So, I mean, he's still drawing with Zamone, so either way, it's still not good for me. So, I'm still in a bad spot here. Arcane Subtraction. I don't actually hate Arcane Subtraction. You can use Arcane Subtraction to blow him out if he goes for an attack of some sort. But this Pugilist is a problem. He can also trample over with this, but I'm hoping we can get some goodies still. The Arcane Subtraction can get me the Expanded Anatomy. Maybe that can put a clock on him in the air. Ram Session, sure. So he's just going to gum up the ground. Maybe he just ends up decking on himself and winning, but, you know, that's hard to imagine since he has so many threats. So I could triple block the 8/8 if he attacks, and then cast the Arcane Subtraction, or just put the Neilthorn Drake in front of it, hold on to the Arcane Subtraction for something else. This is also going to become an 8/8. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win in the air. So I triple block this. I can just cast Arcane Subtraction. I lose my 4/4, which isn't too bad. But then I'd rather just have. Yeah, I don't think we're winning in the air. I think we just put the Neilthorn Drake in front of this and take the trample damage, and hopefully he doesn't have his own Arcane Subtraction. This card is just too scary, and hopefully he doesn't have something like an Ether Helix to get it back. And then we can hold on to the Arcane Subtraction, maybe use it as a combat trick of some sort. Ingenious Mastery is great. It's going to be a little bit suspicious, but I'm going to keep up 2 mana anyways. I guess I can draw 6. Yeah, I want to draw 6 so I don't end up discarding. So 4, 5, 6, and then keep up 3 mana. So which one is it again? No, I want to take this one, right? Because if I choose this one, it gives him an option to scry and everything, so I think we want to choose this one, and then we want to choose 6, so we don't end up discarding and decking ourselves. And then we can keep up 3 mana still for the Arcane Subtraction. I mean, I should maybe gotten 7 since I have the ability to actually just play a land. So maybe I should have chosen that instead. But, I mean, 6 is still a lot of cards, so I can't really complain. So maybe I should have chose X equals 7. But he's keeping up some sort of instant here. Lightning Bolt is perfect. Wow, even Ether Helix. Wow, all these cards are fantastic. So we just want to keep everything up, I think, here. I can also shock Lightning Bolt Zamone end of turn, but he's about to deck himself, so I don't really want to care about Lightning Bolt. I'm more interested in using it on the Reckless Amplemancer, I think. So 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I think I need to block the Reckless Amplemancer. And then make him use his mana. I can also chump the 7/7 if I want to. Yeah, I think I want him to use his mana to waste his turn. So how do I do this? So I need 10 power and 10 toughness in front of this, I think. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think I need to put everything in front of the Reckless Amplemancer. He's going to pump it twice. I guess it's going to become an 8/8. So I guess I can still put the Campus guy in front of this. Let's see. So 8. Okay, so 1, 2. So let me see. This is going to become 4 power, 8 power with 2 pumps. And hopefully he doesn't have anything to blow me out. So let's see. Let's go to blocks, and hopefully he doesn't have like a hexproof trick. I think this is still fine. We'll take 7, and then I can use Arcane Subtraction on the Reckless Amplimancer, go down to 4. Because I just want him to use his mana this turn. And then we can maybe bounce this back, get something back, cast the Leyline Invocation. I can also Arcane Subtraction on the 7/7 if he's going to go all in. I could have also chump blocked for the land too. Sure. I think I'll let him pump twice, and then we use the Arcane Subtraction on it. And then I might just want to grab pest tokens to chump the 7/7 or any large threats that he eventually plays out. And then we want to cast Arcane Subtraction here, and if there is a decisive denial, he can counter it, but we still get to take this out. So let's just do it here. I think we want to keep our red mana, right? So we want to tap this for blue, green, and then cast an Arcane Subtraction. This way, let's see. Guess he has a fight spell. Okay, this is good. And then Expanded Anatomy. We don't have any flying creatures. I think we just want pest summoning so we don't get run over. And okay, that's a good sign. We're gonna fall down to 4, which isn't great, but hopefully he doesn't have too many flyers. And then he's just trading a Reckless Amplimancer for a Scourge Colony, which is good. So we can bounce back his 7/7 and then get out a Leyline Invocation. Cultivator is nice. I don't think I want a golden ratio at this point since it's just a lot of mana, so I think we just bring out the Cultivator here. Take action, grab a land, play land, bring out the Invocation, and then I think we actually just play out the Pest Summoning here, and then say go. And then he needs to deal with the 14/14. Should have kept up red mana for maybe Lightning Bolt, but I think I should be fine. As long as he doesn't have anything that makes his creatures unblockable, I should be fine. I can start chipping into the 7/7. I don't want to deck myself. I can draw 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. Yeah, that's gonna put in my head in terms of cards, so I don't want that happening. I think the game plan now is just to survive and then have him deck himself. That's fine, sure. I mean, that's okay. It's not like that deals with my creature here. Big play is also nice. I don't think I need to be aggressive since, again, he's just going to eventually deck himself. So what I want to do, I think, is I want to Ether Helix to 7/7. I think that's reasonable, and then we can buy back the Needlethorn Drake to have more defense in the air. Or the Scourge Colony. I think we might want Needlethorn Drake instead. Yeah, let's just grab Needlethorn Drake instead. I mean, it can still trade for a flyer, which I'm fine with. And then we can keep up all the other instances here. And I don't want to cast Golden Ratio, otherwise I'll deck myself before him. And we should just win by staying back here. If he doesn't have anything. As long as he doesn't have a bounce spell with the 14/14 or like a Vortex Runner, we should be fine. But I can always Lightning Bolt a Vortex Runner end of turn, so either way he's just going to deck before us if he doesn't have much in his library left. It's going to be a little bit embarrassing losing to a gold rank player, but I mean his deck also looks solid. It definitely has some cards that are questionable, like Reject, which actually did a lot of work. Double Waterfall Airless, I think. And I think the Reckless... No, Reckless Amplimancer is okay. I think those are like the more weaker cards. I guess Double Biomathematician or the Pop Quiz. But, you know, we're also playing Pop Quiz, so I can't blame them. Okay, so he had a Burying Books, so we need to keep up our big play here to blow him out. So he's going to go all in. I don't mind just doing some good blocks here. So the 1-1 is definitely going to go in front of the 5-5. So let's see here. This is definitely the block. I think we block here. I think we block here. We block here. We block here, and then we use big play on our own Quantix Cultivator. And if that doesn't resolve, we can use a Lightning Bolt. I can also block here and use big play instead. Maybe that's better, not sure, but the 1-1 in front of the 5-5 seems fine here. So we'll just block like this, and then before damage we want the big play on our Cultivator, and hopefully he doesn't have anything. I think this is a little bit too aggressive. And if he's going to draw a bunch of cards and deck himself, I'm totally fine with that too. So this is good. Yeah, I'm not sure if those attacks are worth it for him there. Yeah, he probably has no resources now, so yeah, we got him. Alright, sweet. Opponent also main deck reject and it worked, so... And we're still stuck at 5. So definitely it's going to take more than 2 games to get back to where we are, I think. Because usually the people who are like top 2 or top 1 are like Echo 5 Bravo or Ham TV on Twitch. Eating a bit in the background, so if you hear choosing... Wow, are we seriously facing the same guy again? No, it was a different opponent, right? Why are we facing all these gold ranking players? I mean, if it's free wins, it's free wins. This hand isn't great, but we do have Tempted by the Auric with Double Island and Pop Quiz, so I think we try it. And hopefully draw into some creatures. Burying Books and Big Play are kind of awkward, but still alright. And again, we top deck our red source. So at least maybe we can steal something early. Okay, Blackish Shrug. That's not a bad creature to steal, especially on turn 4. So I could just take it here, and then following turn we can tempt it, or I can also just bounce it back, depending on what he does. The thing is, if I steal it, he's going to eventually get back, but I still think we take 4 here or bounce this. I don't know. Bouncing this, I don't think it's that bad since taking 4 is a lot. So let's actually just end up bouncing this. You could have a Beaming Defiance to blow me out, but I mean, At least there's no Beaming Defiance. Because taking 4 is just a lot here. And I think I'd rather just steal the Pledge Mage, since he can always again get the Blackish Trudge back. And we just need to survive against him, I think. And we can start being aggressive as well. Scourge Colony was a pretty nice pickup, so I don't mind using Pop Quiz here, giving this lifelink. I don't think there's any flash creatures here that can punish me, so I'll just give it lifelink, and then we'll just grab the Elemental Summoning, I think. Yep, seems fine. Or pass Summoning to block the 4/2. That's also a reasonable decision, but we do have a big play to enhance our Elemental Summoning, so I think this is fine. And then we can attack for 3. And if he has a removal spell, then he 2-for-1s himself. If he has Lash, I can big play. I like how this Burying Books just gave me so much tempo. The fact that he couldn't develop anything and just pass a turn and maybe bounce my Blackish Trudge was quite nice, so this was definitely better targeted steal, because again he can always eventually get this back if he gains life. And taking 4 is not necessarily the greatest feeling. You could have a Rise of Exodus, but I still think I'm attacking for 5 here. But first things first, I think we cast a Leyline Invocation to gain life. So then it'll be harder for him to race if he kills my 6/6. I can always buy back a permanent with Ether Helix if the Scourge Colony dies. This card's a little bit awkward since I'm running a bunch of summonings, but still quite a good card regardless. But yeah, we're just basically going all out. Next turn we can still Elemental Summon and keep up big play. So just a nice curve, a spell every single turn. This is a little bit odd. Definitely not going to block it. There's a huge sign that there's some sort of removal spell. So I think we just want to play our green source and attack of all. Don't mind just swinging. I could have also played my summoning first to give this lifelink, but I think we're just fine attacking. Not sure if this was correct. Maybe I should have played this main phase to at least give this lifelink, but we'll see. Defend the campus. I could also big play here, but that doesn't really. So I can make this into a 4/4 actually. So I actually don't mind that. This is going to have 4 toughness, which will allow me to keep this around. So I just want to give this lifelink, I think. And now I have a 6/4 that can start attacking as well. No permanents in the yard. I don't really want to save this just to get this flying. I think just playing this out is fine. Laureate, okay. No permanents in the graveyard, unfortunately. I guess I can still give this flying at least. And start going through, or I can just attack with the Scourge Colony and then use the Ether Helix. I don't really want to trade here for any of this. So I think I just attack with the Scourge Colony here and then offer to trade and then use maybe Ether Helix next turn to give this Silver Quill Pleasure Mage flying or something. Wow, trade for the 4/2. That was not what I expected. Yeah, we'll just make sure we play our land out so this becomes a 2/2. And then we can just grab a forest here and just thin out the deck. And we'll see go. And then next turn we'll use the Ether Helix to maybe bounce a creature and then fly over. I think we want to bounce the 2/2 or the 3/3. If I bounce the 3/3, I'll take the extra hit, which isn't great. So I think we actually bounce the Shadewing Laureates, and then bring back the Colony, and then give this flying, I think, or lifelink. Lifelink is fine, and then I can attack with both of these instead. And then he can trade for the 4/2, which is a trade up. I like. If he takes it, even better. So let's say we attack all out. This can trade for the 4/2. This can block the 2/2, but he'll be taking 8. So he needs another creature here, I think. I honestly don't think going all out here is bad, since again, he can't really afford to get a value block. So I think we just attack all out here. If he has a study break, that could be a little bit interesting. So I could just attack with a 4/4, which I don't mind, since that can potentially get rid of the 3/3 in the air, which is a little bit annoying. I guess this will become a 3/3 as well. Like, falling down to 1 is also good. It's a little bit scary though. If he falls down to 1, that is a sign that he could have Crux of Fate. But I don't think you necessarily play Crux of Fate or Day of Judgment in an aggro deck. As I say that, watch as he pulls out a Crux of Fate out of nowhere. So if he has the removals, yeah, there's no way he's gonna board wipe with a bunch of creatures. So yeah, we got him. All right, sweet. Are we back up to 3? We're back up to 4. All right, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, started out rank 5, and then we lost the game, and then we won a couple of games, went back up to 3, and then now we're just at 4. So I guess 4 is all right. But overall, not a bad deck. I honestly don't think my deck is busted, but just solid and efficient. Again, the only busted component in this deck, I think, is actually the triple Quandrix Cultivator. So yeah, let's just add this to my list, and then let's just do a quick overview of this deck before we crack some packs or just move on with our lives. But yeah, here, not a bad deck. There wasn't anything too busted. Some good cards though. Ingenious Mastery, Elemental Mastery. Archivist was kind of a filler 6-drop, but the Reach actually is important and helped, and also prevented myself from decking, which didn't come up too often, but in one of the games I activated this twice, which was definitely useful. Triple bounce spells on turn 5, a Witherbloom Pledge Mage, triple Quandrix Cultivator, and I guess Tempted by the Orc were more of our busted bombs in this deck. No field trips, just double pop quiz, which is kind of saddening, but we need it as a way to learn. Otherwise, taking all those lessons was not great. Golden Ratio was fine filler card draw. Mostly it just ended up drawing 2 cards or 1, so it's probably even worse than a Divination. It can obviously be better, but your creatures do need to survive. Big Play wasn't too bad. I don't mind having 1 copy of these, because usually in the green decks, we tend to have difficulty dealing with flyers. It's not like an amazing card, but solid. Definitely better than the Tangle Trap, since the Tangle Trap is more conditional. At least Big Play, you can use it even on a creature. You can use it during combat, and you don't need to use it to deal with a flyer. And then, yeah, these are all pretty good here. And then, yeah, just 17 lands. Yeah, we made it to rank 4 Mythic. So, yeah, this was a pretty fun draft. Let's claim our prize. Right, and there's a Maelstrom Muse here, and I guess Allen Shield Mage has the best cards. Probably lean towards Maelstrom Muse, since these are at common. And if Silver Quill is open, they obviously get passed around. Here, Ruth is a complete bomb. I would take her over Quandrix Pledge Mage, but you know, Quandrix Pledge Mage gives me a little bit more flexibility, but still better off just playing in a pure Quandrix deck, since it's easier to cast. I would just take Rutha here, no doubt. She's just completely busted in the right Teamer or a Prismari deck. Serpentine Curve is also quite nice. Not great in Quandrix, but 1 copy could always be fine, but definitely pretty good in a Prismari deck. And then here, yeah, Day of Judgment is really powerful. Typically speaking, again, I state in my previous drafts whenever I see Devastating Mastery, I claim that it's a really bad pick since White is looking to be quite aggressive in this deck in this set, and obviously Day of Judgment is a lot worse since if you cast a 4-mana, half of it they get to bounce back 2 permanents that they like, non-land permanents, back to their hand, so it doesn't really wipe the board. But Day of Judgment is definitely a huge improvement. And there is a white control deck in this set. It's mostly just red-white based with maybe a splash of black sometimes, or a splash of blue. But you can still, but Lorehold can be a mid-range deck as well as an aggro deck, and you definitely wouldn't mind like a Day of Judgment in a mid-rangey sort of Lorehold deck where you tend to be a little bit more slower. You're looking to be a little bit more grindy with spirits and recursion, or you can just play this in a straight up Mardu control deck, and it can be kind of fun. But yeah, Day of Judgment I think is definitely a lot better than Devastating Mastery. Since again, Devastating Mastery requires triple white, the mana cost isn't great, and white is mostly aggressive. But yeah, I wouldn't mind even main decking a Day of Judgment in my aggressive white decks as a nice emergency button in case I get run over by some other deck. But yeah, Day of Judgment is great, and I would first pick it here. And then there's also Maelstrom Muse. Everything else is fine. Arcane Subtraction might even be better than Frost Trickster in this set. The fact that it learns. But yeah, I would take Day of Judgment. Field Trip is great. Masterpiece is a good splash card in the Teamer deck, and a fine card in Prismari. Plum, only playable really in Witterbloom. Yeah, Field Trip is the best green common. Don't sleep on this card. Like, the fact that usually cards like this where you just play 3 mana and put a land on the battlefield isn't great, but the fact that it allows you to learn is quite nice. And there's a lot of cards in this set that are trying to get to 8 lands to enable beneficial stats and abilities. But yeah, Field Trip is great, and I think it's the best green common. Would always take it first over my first Mage Duel, but if I see another pack with Field Trip and Mage Duel after first picking my Field Trip, obviously you want to diversify with a Mage Duel, but I think Field Trip is really important in the green decks, especially since they have a lot of powerful curve toppers to ramp into, like the Leyline Invocation, maybe Bookworms, maybe some nice top-end bombs. But yeah, Field Trip is great. And here, nothing great. Wool Eater, fine card in a Witterbloom deck. Probably the best out of, definitely might be even better than the Titan, but it's not too. But the weird thing about Witterbloom I want to state is that they just have too many 4-drops. And then, like, sometimes even just playing a Professor Zumance is better than a Daemogoth Wool Eater, for instance. And you really need a lot of pest tokens to go along with this. Otherwise, it just ends up stacking itself, which is still fine, but not too impactful. But yeah, Wool Eater, I haven't been too impressed by the Witterbloom 4-drops as of lately. Like, I don't sleep on Witterbloom though. Like, you can still have a really busted Witterbloom deck if you have like multiple Blood Researchers and double Overgrown Arch or something insane like that, with a ton of removal backup like Flunks and Mage Duels and Devouring Tendrils. But for the most part, Witterbloom does require a little bit more work compared to Quandrix and Silverquill. Whereas like some cards in Silverquill and Quandrix are just straight out just great by themselves and don't require too much work. But Daemogoth Wool Eater is quite solid if you have enough ways to stack it. And there was a draft I did previously with a Daemogoth Wool Eater and not too many pests, but I just ended up cycling it and it was okay since I had double Blood Researcher to grow. I think it was a deck of like Harness Infinity or something, not sure, but you know, fine card, nothing exciting. There's Rutha, again, Karok Wrangler's been very meh, okay, not that great. Fine 5-drop, but I might even prefer the Witterbloom Pledge Mage over this. But yeah, sometimes you can just put out a flyer, and then you can just enhance it with counters, but it still requires a bit of Magecraft to get going. But Rutha is definitely the nuts, so don't sleep on Rutha. I would definitely prefer Killian over Rutha, because Rutha requires more setup, and if you just play Killian in a straight-up Silverquill deck on turn 2, it can basically increase your win rate by a huge margin, whereas Rutha can just still end up dying, or you might not have an instant or spell to go along with it. But Killian is definitely a lot better. Meskar in his pack, Humiliate, Inkling Summoning, and Devouring Tendrils. Probably just take the removal spell here, being Devouring Tendrils, just very cheap and efficient. Gains you life, so it has benefits in Witterbloom. and if not, Inkling Summoning, the best creature summoning in my opinion. And yeah, I think between Inkling Summoning and Fractal Summoning, those are two of the top ones, since Silver Quill and Quandrix are kind of tiered on the top of the rankings. But yeah, Inkling Summoning is good, but still prefer to take the removal spell. Because, like, I understand that lesson and learn is powerful, but it's possible that you could end up in a deck without too many learns or lessons, since they get snatched up a ton. So you could still draft a deck with at least a decent amount of removal and creatures and overall 0 learn, and you can still maybe get there. But yeah, there was a deck I did draft that got to 7 with 0 learn. I think it was like some sort of busted teamer deck with multiple choice and some Leyline invocations. But anyways, best card in this pack, Opt and Prismari Pledge Mage. Mage Hunter is fine. It's one of those 4-drops that I talked about in Witterbloom that, that are okay, really. But there's always like the Professor Zooman, so you can play over this Spectre Offense. Demogoth Titan. Yeah, so the 4-drop can get a little bit awkward in the Witterbloom deck. But still a fine 4-drop, can punish the opponent for casting Magecraft, but nothing too exciting. Yeah, here's this pack. I would probably just take Opt, since it's just very efficient at 1 mana and helps you improve your draw steps. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. We got to rank 3 Mythic, dropped down a couple since I didn't play for a couple of hours, and then now we're back up to 4. So yeah, don't know if I want to keep continuing this train. I don't know how far I can take this. It's definitely very risky if I end up drafting a bad deck and I lose a bunch of rankings, but the fact that I made it to 5 in the first place means that even if I drop down my rankings, I can always make it back up to 5 again. But yeah, I don't know how. It's probably really incredibly difficult getting the top 1 in the first place, since someone is hoarding that position. Maybe one of the top streamers on Twitch. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy my videos, and as always, have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.